Hello. Washington just passed a landmark food security law, and farmers are not in it. The bill, HB2238, lists 11 required convening partners, including health departments, social services, hunger relief nonprofits, but not one agricultural organization made the list. There is no budget line for agricultural stakeholder engagement. And the very WSDA program that supports farm-to-market supply chains, the Regional Markets Program, faced elimination in the same budget cycle. You can't build a resilient food system from the loading dock inward. You have to start at the farm. That's the problem. There are 0 of 11 mentioned convening partners that are agricultural. There is 0 budget line for stakeholder engagement for agricultural. And we know that this is a risk because the Regional Markets Program faced elimination. This is the policy landscape. HB 2238 sets the right goals, but has a structural implementation gap, specifically agricultural organizations being absent from the required convening list. Critically, the WSDA already has the authority under this bill to include experts on agricultural resilience, including private sector experts. So we're not asking for new legislation. We're asking the WSDA to use the authority it already has before July 26th, when convening is scheduled to launch and the participant list gets locked in. The goal is specific. WSDA commits to naming at least 4 agricultural stakeholder organizations as strategy development partners before the July 26 convening launch. This is achievable because it requires no new legislation. It's measurable because the organizations would appear by name in the WSDA's published participant list. It is directly relevant to the law's own goals, and it is time-bound. We need the commitment before July 1st. This map shows the system at play. WSDA sits at the center. They were participants in the crafter of the bill, and they are the implementer of the bill. Our primary target at the WSDA is Katie Rains, who is the director of food initiatives. She has the authority to expand the convening list. I am the campaign messenger with credibility from my own experience. The UW, University of Washington, lends research credibility. And at the bottom, Washington farmers and agricultural organizations currently excluded from the very law that affects them most. Yes, that is a cat meowing. Our primary target, as I said, is Katie Rains at the WSDA. She's the person who can actually say yes. The approach with her is collaborative, not adversarial. We frame the ask as an efficiency gain. Agricultural stakeholder inclusion saves WSDA research hours under a tight budget. Secondary audiences include coalitions that support agriculture, legislators who sponsored HB 2238, and the broader food system community. Phase 2 is the general public through social media. This is not a primary lever. The core message: you can't build food security strategy without the people who grow the food. The tone is collaborative. We follow Patrice Berenstein's model, leading with questions that invite WSDA into a conversation rather than presenting a demand. The messenger matters enormously. I'm a strong, credible messenger, evidenced by responses I've already gotten from government agencies, as well as my participation in various agriculturally and food-related agencies. Our toolkit is lean and targeted. We chose the advocacy brief because it's direct and accessible. The document needs to be memorable, relatable, and not jargon heavy. The 15-minute meeting request would follow the campaign document, and it's an acknowledgement that policy rarely changes through documents alone. This is a conversation. A tactic we deliberately excluded was a broad public pressure campaign. That approach risked signaling adversarial intent and burning the relationship with Katie Rains that we actually need to get the ask through. This is a lean campaign by design, and that leanness is part of our argument. Total cost under $1,000, roughly 80 hours of student and or volunteer time, and the low cost is part of the message. Agricultural stakeholder inclusion doesn't actually require a budget line. It requires a phone call or 2 or 10. Our key assets are relational. Our data assets are strong. Everything we cite comes from the WSDA's own documents, which makes it hard to dispute. The main constraints are WSDA's lean budget and their caution about expanding beyond the mandate. Our response to both: HB2238 already authorizes this, and agricultural expertise saves WSDA time. It does not cost them more. Strategy has 3 phases. Phase 1 through April is the direct advocacy push. Deliver the brief, request the meeting, start to build a coalition. Phase 2 through June, follow-up and awareness. We need WSDA's commitment before the July convening launch when the participant list gets set. Phase 3, long-term monitoring through December 2027. Key risk: the WSDA just says no. Our mitigation is to make the easy answer by framing everything as low cost and offering to facilitate connections ourselves. Agricultural stakeholders disagree about viability is a risk. And our response is that is exactly why they need to be in the room. The timeline is tight but realistic. We're past the first milestone. The outline was submitted March 30th. The critical near-term objective is delivering the brief and requesting the meeting with Katie Rains by mid-April. We need at least 3 organizations, probably state agencies, as mentioned by Katie herself, confirmed by May. The most important deadline is July 1st. We need WSDA's commitment before the convening process launches, because once the participant list is set, it becomes much harder to change. The final evaluation happens when WSDA publishes the strategy in December of 27. This is the architecture and key performance index connections. The architecture of this campaign flows from research through coalition building, through direct outreach, to a WSDA commitment and long-term monitoring. The 4 key KPIs map directly into that flow. KPIs 1 and 2 are leading indicators. They tell us if the campaign is executing properly. KPIs 3 and 4 are mid-campaign lagging indicators. Sorry, KPI 3 is a lagging indicator. KPI 4 is the ultimate outcome, where we see if the strategy actually included agricultural viability methods informed by the ag sector stakeholders. We get KPIs 1 and 2 right, KPI 3 and 4 are sure to follow. The evaluation framework will distinguish this between leading and lagging indicators. So leading indicators tell us if the campaign is actually executing correctly. Did we deliver on time? Did we secure the meeting? These we can actually measure within weeks. The lagging indicators tell us if the campaign actually moved the needle. Did WSDA name ag stakeholders before the July convening? Does the final December 2027 strategy incorporate agricultural perspectives? This is a lightweight monitoring plan. WSDA announcements monthly from April through the plan can serve as the source for this monitoring. And then, of course, we evaluate the published strategy within 30 days of its December 2027 release. I am confident in the design decisions. First, the targeted brief over a public campaign. WSDA's decision rests with one person. Broad pressure is not an effective way to communicate, negotiate, and create with one person. Second, the timing. July 26, 2026 is the last clean window. Third, the coalition design. Credibility from soil to shelf signals a food system issue, not special interest advocacy. And fourth, the zero-cost framing for this campaign should make it super attractive. The WSDA's lean budget is real, and our message has to make yes the easy answer. HB 2238 is an opportunity full of possibility for the people of Washington State. We're trying to end hunger, build food system resilience, and bulletproof our supply chains. But a food security strategy that doesn't include farmers is incomplete. Supply chains need suppliers, agricultural viability needs agricultural producers. The good news, WSDA already has the authority to fix this, and the campaign asked them to use it. It is still early enough to get this right. Thank you.